That was a hoot. Okay, okay, well, first things first. Good morning and happy Monday, everybody. Um, so, I kind of saw something really cool yesterday. And by really cool, I mean something I've been waiting to see for a couple of years now. Now, you guys know I mean, my birthday is December 28th, 1989. Technically, I am an 80s baby. But I grew up in the 90s. And, if you were a kid watching related channels like, well, obviously Cartoon Network, Fox Kids, Nickelodeon, they were all things you were going to watch pretty much no matter what. So, you can imagine that when in 2017, when you see a promo for a Rocko's Modern Life movie, you're going to get excited. So, yes, I saw that last night, and oh man, it was, I'll be honest, I was feeling kind of down this whole weekend, but watching it made me feel a lot better. Like, holy cow, this was like, I needed to watch this so badly. It's like, oh, I felt like I was a kid again. And okay, I should probably get into talking about what it is. So, the special begins where the series technically left off, because the final, like, true series finale episode was going. Well, technically the series wasn't supposed to end, but they're picking up from the episode Future Schlock, where at the end of the episode, Rocko, Heifer, Filbert, and Spunky, Rocko's dog, are flying in space, and they're up in space for 20 years, which I'm just gonna say that it probably just follows cartoon logic, which is why they're able to stand the void and emptiness and blackness of space for 20 years, because that's the only thing I can think of, cartoon logic, which, again, goes back to, well, not just to the 90s, but back to cartoons from the very beginning in general. So, I can definitely, that's the thing about, one thing I gotta talk about if you're gonna watch this special or anything, like that. Because I know Invader Zim Enter the Fortress is going to be coming out soon, which I am going to be watching. And that is, you gotta use cartoon logic for a lot of reasoning as to what happens in terms of what you see and stuff like this. Because that's the only way you're really going to, if you can't do that, you're not really going to be able to enjoy the show. So, want to bring that out there. So, it turns out that the way to get home was on a remote that had a re-entry button that was stuck up Heifer's rear end. And so, they finally get back, and it's been 20 years. It's no longer the 90s. It is the late 2010s. And there's all kinds of references. Everyone's using smartphones. There's coffee shops everywhere which are called BuzzBucks, but it's obviously paying a reference to Starbucks. There's viral streaming everywhere. Pretty much everything that people makes fun of for today is all present. But one thing that actually is present that is a good thing is we now live in a day and age where if you're a fanboy or a fangirl, stuff is usually made by the fans for the fans. Pretty much this whole special is a show by the fans for the fans. I mean, actually by the actual creator himself, Joe Murray. And so Rocko can't take it, so he wants to watch his favorite show called The Fatheads, which is made by his neighbor's son, Ralph Bighead, which is paying reference to his own neighbors, obviously. So it turns out the show is no longer on the air, and Rocko can't take it. He wants to try and get his show back. Meanwhile, Ed Bighead accidentally makes a mistake that makes Conglomerate bankrupt. Well, actually, he didn't make a mistake. When the rocket that the guys were riding on came in re-entry, it caused like a sort of massive earthquake type thing, and a bowling ball fell in the calculator, which made the mistake for him. So technically it really wasn't his fault, but again, cartoon logic, stuff like that happens in cartoons. So, they're trying to, one thing Conglamo does is, they have Conglamo TV, so bring back the fatheads, people are going to buy stuff, fans will pay for anything if, it's good, this was exactly like everything that, yes, it's meant to be a parody of, what life is like today. I mean, they parody what I'm doing right now in terms of making these videos. Yeah, Filbert actually has one of those smartphone hat attachment things where like the smartphone dangles over his head like this. I mean, I'm not wearing that, obviously, but, yeah, they parody that. So, this really is not only sort of a parody of, what today is like, but it also pays, homage to a lot of the great things about, what made Rocko's Modern Life great. The witty humor, the slapstick, the mild, gross out stuff. When it gets to, the beginning of the show, if it has them flying in space, there's like, the one, like, little blender from that one Blender episode. Dude, in the intro, you see G.I. Jimbo. G.I. Jimbo, like, yeah, G.I. Jimbo. Sorry. Again, you have to be a long time fan of the show to give it. Man, this was awesome. Like, I cannot say it's nothing. I also have to, give credit to, the voice cast. I mean, they got the original cast back from Rocko's Modern Life to do it here. Carlos L. as Rocky as Rocko. Tom Kenny, who's also known for the voice of SpongeBob SquarePants, to come back to voice Heifer. Mr. Lawrence to voice Filbert. Yes, his stage name is Mr. Lawrence. He's also Plankton on SpongeBob, but that's another thing. Jill Taylor as, Filbert's wife, Dr. Hutchinson, who, fun fact, Tom Kenny's the voice of Heifer and the voice of SpongeBob, and Jill Taylor, who is the voice of, Dr. Hutchinson and, Karen, Plankton's computer wife on SpongeBob, are actually married in real life. So, that's really cool. Charlie Adler as, Mr. and Mrs. Bighead. Joe Murray himself as Ralph Bighead, or, I don't want to give everything away, but it's really sweet. Because here's the thing, and I mentioned this when I talked about Good Boys the other day as well. Like, yeah, it's funny, and yeah, there's a lot of humor. You're gonna smile from like ear to ear throughout the entirety of the special. Pretty much goes without saying. But it also gives you time to breathe a little bit. Like, it's funny, but it takes the time because there are some emotional moments, stuff that, they want to talk about, sort of quiet, quiet in terms of how quiet this show could get, I should say. Again, if Rocko's Modern Life wasn't your thing back in the 90s, or when it was on, or if it's not your thing now, you're not really going to like this special. I really should, say that. But if you're a diehard fan of the show, if you're a diehard fan of, 90s cartoons, if you're a diehard fan of the cast involved, especially the voice cast, and if you're a diehard fan of Rocko's Modern Life in general, yes, you should totally watch this. It is definitely worth the, and here's the thing, it's actually a pretty quick set. Like, it's not even an hour. It's only like barely over 45 minutes. You can sort of, bang it out like that. And honestly, and this is actually one good thing I wanted to mention earlier when I said, things are being made, by the fans, for the fans. We live in a day and age where, we have, the Marvel Cinematic Universe. They brought back, shows like Rocko's Modern Life and Invader Zim. Dragon Ball Z, stuff like that. That stuff is popular again. And the people of my generation are not old enough to have children of their own, and they can actually use these as, mediums or platforms to introduce to their kids. And that's awesome. Like, it keeps, but, obviously don't take everything at face value. I mean, again, sometimes people just don't, sometimes there are things that were from the 90s that didn't appeal to me that are being brought back that I'm not watching, but that's okay. Lots of people are. And that's awesome. And they're showing it to their kids, and it's family bonding. It's exactly what was needed. And that's why it's great. That's why so many people lost their minds when the thought of this special came out. It's why people lost their minds when they're bringing back stuff like Invader Zim. It's why a lot of anime fans lost their minds when Dragon Ball Z Battle of Gods came out back in 2013. A lot of stuff from the 90s is coming back. And it's awesome. Well, technically Dragon Ball was more 80s, but it was introduced to American audiences in the late 90s. But yeah, so, or, I'll even take another step further, like bringing back Samurai Jack. That's another thing. And, yeah, sorry, I'm running out of ideas, but you get the drift. This is definitely something worth watching. It's entertaining as all get out. If I ever find the time to watch it again, I totally will. You could probably find it online somewhere. It's currently streaming on Netflix. Do it. It's, worth, it's not a very long sit. If you need to entertain your kid for, an hour, even though, again, it's not, just barely over 45 minutes, it definitely works too. Or, if you want to use to bond with your kids, that's great too. That's even better. You should do that. That'd be great. So yeah, I cannot say anything. I can't say anything more about that. Isn't already, awesome. So yeah. Other than that, yesterday was, pretty cool. Although I was very much misled. It wasn't a 90-degree day. It's the fact that a plethora of rain that we all got was falling at a 90-degree angle. That's my excuse. I don't know what. Oh, that's true though. Seriously, we've been getting a lot of rain lately, which really is needed. Rain can be good. I don't mind the rain, but if I'm promised like 90-degree weather, it's kind of what I'm expecting. So here's to hoping that maybe down the line we have better weather going forward. It was actually supposed to be pretty good today too, but as of right now, as I'm looking out my window, it's pretty cloudy, but it's starting to clear up a little bit. You get that sort of mixture of like blue and pink and like that purple tint of gray, kind of. It's really nice. And okay, so False Swipe Gaming also threw me for a loop. Apparently, I mentioned a week ago that there was a Pokemon they were going to talk about that I wanted to bring up and wanted to talk to you about, like, obviously, tomorrow. But they actually still need a lot of work on that one, which should indicate it's going to be good. But for who they're starting with today, it's still pretty awesome. And, I'll definitely, and it's still another trio too. They're going to do one trio before they finish another. Funny, isn't it? It is what it is. Excuse me. Oh, that's one thing that's ever going to change. I'm feeling tired on a Monday. Oh well, can't be all bad. So, again, if you have an opportunity to watch Rocko's Modern Life, The Static Cling, if you're a fan of Rocko's Modern Life, if you're a fan of 90s cartoons, if you're a fan of the voice cast, if you're a fan of just, animation in general, it is worth watching. And there's even a few surprises in there too. I don't want to give it away, but trust me, it really does deal with the fact that, the biggest lesson is from Rocko's Modern Life, The Static Cling is, yes, change can be hard and it can be difficult to embrace, but more often than not, it ends up being good. And that's awesome. I mean, yeah, it's technically a message that has been talked about a lot in media, especially I'd say in the last 15 years. But, something's always going to happen where, we tend to forget that or take it for granted. So, in this instance, it's actually nice to be told that. At least I think so. Like, favorite, share, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications on YouTube, follow me on the social media platforms. I am humbled I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy today. I'm hopeful you have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Monday. If you find time to watch Rocko's Morning Like the Static Clean, do it. It's definitely worth the time. And remember, if you guys want to talk, Chamo is going to be here to lend an ear. I'll always have your back. Take care and make good choices. And you know what? I'm just going to do it right now. G.I. Jimbo, he's going to save the day for you and you, and you and you, and you and you. Yes! Oh, man. I know G.I. Jimbo had almost had nothing to do other than that one little cameo in the beginning, but man, it was awesome to see. Alright, take care everybody.